So on the top it says it's recording.
Top of the morning to you. Good afternoon or good evening, depending upon what time of day or night you are watching this. My name is Ed Blunt, and I want to tell you a story, and then I'm going to share an even greater story. So I appreciate you chiming in. I've been in the world of professional speaking and training for well over 25 years, and prior to that, I was also a full-time working actor in New York City and Los Angeles, California, and many states, cities, and a couple of countries in between. So I really am grateful for a really vast array of experiences. And I want to talk to you first and foremost about the uncomfortable growth zone. Because anything that you've ever done of significance in your life, if it's going for a new promotion, starting a relationship, asking an uncomfortable question that leads to greater growth, going to attempt something that you've never attempted before. Maybe you run a marathon, maybe you took a CrossFit class, maybe you learned a new language. Anything of any significance, there was a level of uncomfortableness and even some anxiety, some nerves, maybe even a little bit of doubt. But there was something in you that was convicted about your growth, convicted about your journey. And that is where all of the good stuff happens. It's in your uncomfortable growth zone, not your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is your Baroque zone. It is like carbon monoxide. It is a silent, deadly killer. It will slowly choke the life out of all of your dreams and hopes and ambitions, and you'll stop reaching, you'll stop striving, you'll stop dreaming. You won't even have any dreams. You will find yourself resigned to a life of mediocrity, of punching somebody else's clock, of taking somebody else's paycheck, and then you relegate yourself to being a paycheck player. A paycheck player is someone who gets a paycheck every 2 weeks or once a month, and they design their life around that paycheck. And they never deviate, they don't change, and they sit and they wait and they wish and they hope for some level of a pay raise. Maybe it's a cost of living, maybe it's a bump, or maybe it's a promotion. But the bottom line is, it's not anything that can feed their greater dreams. So they stop dreaming and they downsize their vision for their life to their paycheck. They downsize their expectations to their paycheck. Why? Because if you're working at a job 40 to 50 to 60 plus hours a week, well, that takes up a large portion of your thinking awake time. And so you're even thinking about your job when you're not on your job. And your job, for most people, it ain't paying you enough to take up that much bandwidth and that much space in your head. It's not worth it. But you habituate that behavior because it's something that is on repeat. We are what we repeatedly do. And because of that, we repeat this habit of punching in and punching out and relegating ourselves to a certain level of income. And even if we're not getting paid what we're worth, we just accept it. And as soon as you give in to a paycheck, most people's dreams, they die. Their dreams die. Paychecks for most people are dream killers, period. So I want to talk to you about that. Why? Because me being willing to embrace that uncomfortable growth zone has taken me around the world more times than I can count. It's taken me into parts of this planet that I didn't even know existed, countries I didn't know the names of, building relationships, meeting people, having experiences that I didn't know were there to be had. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is because this is what I want for you. Maybe you're already experiencing it. Maybe you have yet to experience it. Maybe you've had a little bit of a taste of it and you want more. I'm all for it. I'm about you living a much higher quality of life, but I'm also about you not having to make decisions anymore based on time or money. I'd like to put you on a path where you can see the end game and you're playing the long game so that you position yourself and your family and those that are coming after you, whether they're biological or legacy or just what you want to leave behind. I want to put you in a situation where you can create financial independence, not just for yourself, but for those who are coming after you. Now, I am not here to bash jobs. Don't misunderstand me. I understand what it's like to work a job where you're overworked and underpaid. I know what it's like to work a job where there's absolutely no scenario where you're going to make anywhere close to what you know you're genuinely worth. I know what it's like to have to work a job just to make sure the bills are paid. That's fine. I'm not saying don't do that. But what I am saying is if all you're doing is that, that's where I want to challenge you to get out of your comfort zone. Because if all you're doing is that, you're now living in the danger zone. Write this down. Jim Collins wrote a book. It's called From Good to Great. It was a New York Times bestseller for many, many years. And in that book, he specifically talks about the danger that most people put themselves in when they take all of their eggs and they put them in someone else's basket. When you do that, you are at the mercy of your employer, of that company. And if that company gets bought out, if they decide they want to cut back expenses, you know the first expense and the most expensive cuts they're going to make? You. And people that are like you who are also employees. So there were people literally today, as you're watching this, and they went into their job and they thought it was safe and secure, and they were told as they walked in, you have 10 minutes to vacate the premises. All the stuff was packed up in a nice, neat little box, and there was a security guard on either side of their desk, and they were escorted out, and their whole world today, this happened, turned upside down. So we understand the perils of doing that. In that book, From Good to Great, he really breaks that down, the importance of positioning yourself so that you can not have to be dependent on one source of income. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, there are literally millions and millions and millions of millionaires in the United States. So there's nothing special about you that you can't achieve that. There's nothing unique about you that you can't fulfill that for yourself and your family. It's just a matter of how you're thinking and what vehicle are you driving. And so the vehicle I'm going to share with you is going to rock your world. So when I decided that I was going to be of a growth mindset. So sometimes people have growth mindsets and sometimes they have fixed mindsets. People that have fixed mindsets, they say things like, oh, I could never do that. Oh, that's not me. Oh, that, you're successful because you have this and I don't have that. People that have fixed mindsets, they're brilliant at making excuses and they're brilliant at staying stuck. When you have a growth mindset, you recognize, hey, wait a minute, this person breathes the same air as I do. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. If they can do it, I know I can do it. And I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to get uncomfortable. Because I embraced a growth mindset, it began to open doors. I uncomfortably learned the skills of how to perform on a stage, how to project, how to do the proper research and preparation to portray different characters if it was off Broadway, on Broadway, in front of a camera, if it's a film or a television show. I learned the skills. It wasn't easy, but it was doable because I was willing to apply myself and embrace the uncomfortable growth zone. And because I did that, ladies and gentlemen, I've earned a residual income. That means that the checks come every single quarter. Every single quarter. They've been coming for 25 years. I haven't done anything. The last movie I did was 2 weeks ago, but before that, it was a while ago. And my point is that it doesn't matter that I haven't done anything. I made those films and TV shows years and years and years ago, but I get paid every quarter. Residual income, boom, boom, boom. It never stops. It just keeps coming. Year after year, decade after decade. That's residual. Because I embraced being uncomfortable, I came under the tutelage of an incredible speaker, one of the best in the world. His name is Mr. Les Brown, and I became his apprentice. I became his student. And because I have a really strong work ethic and I coupled that with uncomfortable growth zone, he taught me the principles of speaking. And guess what? I was able to take those skills and bring them to the forefront where I was able to end up speaking for billion-dollar pharmaceutical corporations. I'm not proud of that. I'm not a fan of pharma at all, but I'm just telling you what happened. Major healthcare companies, Blue Cross Blue Shield, colleges, universities, Barnard, Yale Medical School. I can go on and on. And I ended up traveling to over 24 countries and speaking and training around the world, doing what I love to do because I was willing to get uncomfortable. I was willing to do work where there was no compensation until the work level got to such a skill set that I was able to start getting compensated. And I went from someone who had never earned more than maybe 20 bucks in an hour to someone who was earning $12,000 in an hour because I was willing to get uncomfortable and learn a new skill set. So let's talk about it as it pertains to why you and I are going to, what we're going to talk about in terms of the vehicle that you're driving. So let's talk about health and wellness. Melaleuca is a wellness company. They've been around for a very long time because people understand now more than ever, especially in these United States, we have to be vigilant about what we're putting in our homes, what we're putting in our bodies. For 40 years, they have been creating top-notch products and consumables that are based in organic, clean, and non-toxic from home, cleaning and laundry, personal care, vitamins and supplements, medicines and treatments, healthy foods and drinks, cosmetics, etc. When you combine nature with science, you can do some exciting things. And we are creating all of these products within our own home. It's in-house. There are absolutely no third parties. There's no white labeling. Everything is done from us, for us, and anyone that would like to become a shopper with us. Now, right now, if I were to ask you what's the largest purveyor of shipping in the United States, many of you would guess either Amazon or Walmart, and you would be correct. It's Amazon. If I were to ask you who's number two, you might say Walmart, but in actuality, number two is Melaleuca. The reason I'm pointing that out is because I want you to understand that more and more people are figuring out that clean, organic, and non-toxic makes a huge difference in terms of quality of life, longevity, and just living a healthier life, period. So that's big. Because the integration, the vertical integration, that's our great separator. From the ingredients to the manufacturing to the packaging and the shipping, it's all from us and then again for you. So you never have to worry about something being shipped from another foreign country and sitting in ports and how many hands are touching it. Everything is created and built and grown here in the United States, formulated in the United States, distributed throughout the United States and beyond, but it's all homegrown. So I love, love, love that. Now check this out. You know, on average, 63% of what you pay for national brands is all a waste because they're spending it on advertising, distribution, celebrity endorsements, and retail shelf space. So check this out. I'm sure you've gone into a store and you probably at some point in time have seen prominently placed on the shelf Coca-Cola. Now, Coca-Cola, if you didn't know, is what we call toilet bowl cleaner. Why do I say that? Because if you pour toilet Coca-Cola in your toilet and let it sit for 30 minutes, whatever stains you have, gone. It is phenomenal because it's so acidic. And Coca-Cola, there's a direct correlation to drinking Coca-Cola and raising and spiking your glucose and your blood sugar levels. There's a direct correlation between Coca-Cola and people that are dealing with obesity. There's absolutely no nutritional value in Coca-Cola, and yet and still, it is prominently placed on stores across America, and it is promoted as a cool drink to consume. Why? Because it's profit over people. That's the principle, the driving principle for a lot of these consumables and products. It's profit over people. We don't do that. So instead of spending money and promoting foolishness, we take it and reinvest it in creating clean, organic, non-toxic, high-quality products that are not only good, but they're good for you. Relying on 100% word of mouth, that allows us to keep it in-house. It's very organic in its growth. It's a very genuine experience. And you're dealing with over 400 plus products. So if any of you have ever gone shopping at least once a month, Ask yourself the question. When I shop once a month, number one, you typically just go when you need to go. Okay, you run out of toothpaste, you go get some. You run out of toilet bowl cleaner, you need some more, drink or whatever, lotion, shampoo, you just go get it. Okay. If you add it up, what you spend over the course of a month, you'll find that more often than not, you're in that average spending range, which I'll talk about in a second. So, laundry, dish, and cleaners. Now, check this out. I'm embarrassed to say this, but for many years, I grew up in a household where there was Tide and Clorox on the shelf. And so when I became an adult, what did I buy? Tide and Clorox, because that's what I saw. I never thought about it. And do you know, for all the years that I used to use those products, I never ever looked at the ingredients label, not one time. It's crazy. People will come and they'll say, "Hey, Ed, hey, Nadia, give us some tips on your workouts. Give us some tips on your what you eat, because you guys seem to be very healthy." And we're feeling, kind of feeling ourselves a little bit. Oh yeah, we'll let you know. We'll give you some game of what we do, blah blah blah. But in reality, we're using harmful, toxic products, and we have them in our home, and we're exposing our children to those products, not even knowing. We didn't know what we didn't know, and we thought we knew. So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm blind, deaf, and dumb when it comes to some of the products in my own home, I know there are other people that are just like me. So there's no safety caps required for any of our products. How about that? Why? Because they're safe. And yes, they clean just as, if not more, effectively. So no longer do I have to wear a double mask, a hazmat suit, and big thick rubber gloves to clean the bathroom. I can send our kids in there and they can do that work with their bare hands, and I'm not concerned because there are no harmful chemicals in the products, which I absolutely love. So national brands are mostly entirely water. Did you know that? I didn't. That's a lot of water you're paying for. Whereas we have mastered the science of concentration. So you can purchase a bottle and that bottle will turn into six, which means what? You're getting more value for what you're spending. It makes your dollar stretch further for higher quality. And on top of that, we're saving 292 million pounds of plastic, 48 million gallons of fossil fuel, 1.53 billion pounds of harmful emissions. We're doing something, ladies and gentlemen, to add value to the environment instead of raping the environment and tearing it down and bringing toxicity and greater harm to it. We're actually trying to preserve it in some way, shape, or form. So the products are amazing. I love all of these. I can give you a 3-page essay on why each one is awesome. But for example, the mouth rinse, okay? Listerine, you may have heard of it. Right now, they're in a class action lawsuit because some of the users of Listerine have filed suit because they've gotten cancer from using Listerine. That's a big deal. A lot of people have no clue this is taking place, and yet and still they're still being promoted. The tooth polish, amazing. The Renew lotion, the wipes, the hand soap, etc. I love it. The Renew Intensive Skin Therapy. We've gotten so many stories about this, and this is one of the case studies that they utilized. So when you look at people that had really rough skin, some people are dealing with eczema, some people have had really coarse feet, and they started using Renew and they got results within 7 to 10 days, and it stayed that way. So we've had personal shoppers that we've referred that have shared that story with us, which is pretty powerful. All kinds of face products and skin creams. And again, I love all of this stuff. Now, and we run through this like gangbusters because it's really good and we tend to use it every day because it just feels good on your skin, but it gives us a nice glow. I can't say enough about not only the diversity of products, but just how effective they are. And our kids love them too. Our parents use them. Like it's a really effective marketplace of really high quality products. So this is my jam right here, the Peak Performance Nutrition Pack. So I don't know if you care about your health or not. Hopefully you do. Very often I find that people are missing the boat or they're trying some things, but they're not really sure what they're putting in their bodies. And unfortunately, if you and I decided to open up a vitamin shop tomorrow, we could, and we can have 1 tiny part of, ginseng and 99 parts corn syrup. We could call it ginseng and get away with it because they're not really regulated. And I'm the guy that was on every infomercial, that bought every single vitamin, spent all of his money in the vitamin shop and Whole Foods and GNC because I love the idea and the opportunity to try and experiment with things to maximize my health and my fitness. So I am that guy that's ordered and tried virtually everything. And I can tell you, after spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on these things, these are by far the most effective supplements that I've ever experienced, that we've ever experienced. And so with the Peak Performance Pack, you're getting the key nutrients for your baseline. I'm talking about your blood pressure. I'm talking about your insulin. I'm talking about your cholesterol. I'm talking about your energy. And so that's the baseline where it starts, but it's more, so much more than that. When you look at soil depletion, that's a real thing. When you look at the GMOs that are being sprayed and peppered throughout all of the foods. Now, have you ever gone to the grocery store and you see that they're spraying water on the produce section? You ever seen the water being sprayed? That ain't water. Again, most people they don't know. So it's a substance to keep the vegetables fresher and longer, and it gives them a little sheen. Okay, it's not water. So we're being bombarded with all kinds of chemicals. Nobody cares because it's profit over people. Why do you think when you and I take a bite out of a tomato in the United States and then we go to Italy and take a bite out of a tomato, the tomato in Italy tastes totally different? Why do you think that is? Because they actually have guidelines and regulations, and you can't just spray whatever you want on the crops, and you can't just put all your toxins wherever you want without any checks and balances like they do here in the United States, which sucks. So we have to take extra precautions and steps to preserve and protect our health. So the supplements cannot be more important than they are right now. Oligo is a high-powered absorbent driver, meaning what you put in your body is very important, but what your body absorbs is even more important. So with all of our supplements, we have that oligo that's driving the absorption so that we're getting a 10 times greater rate of absorption than you're going to get and the national brand supplements. We even have a website you can go to called peakperformancestudies.com. You can see some of the case studies, but you're also going to get your 25 key health indicators so you can really get a sense of where you're at, where you want to make improvements, and some very specific steps that you can take. We have an incredible wellness community. So for those of you that want to get more fit, maybe you want to shed some pounds or whatever the case may be, you can actually join a community where there's conversation, there's relationship, there's accountability, there's consistency, and you're not alone. And I've met several of the members of that community, and they've told me some incredible stories of their journeys. It's really about the relationships and the work and the right people, which I know that we have. If you're a meat eater, great. We're not, but we have tried some of these. Actually, we've tried a lot of them, and they're good. They're really good. So we're not absolutists when it comes to never eating meat. We're open-minded. And when we went to the annual event, which is in Salt Lake City, Utah, every year, we went and they had about 3.5 football fields worth of product stations. And so you were able to go to each product station and you could sample things. They had people explaining. They had some of the formulators of the actual ingredients that were explaining how they put it all together. And then there was the Riverbend Ranch. Riverbend Ranch is now listen to this, this is going to blow your mind, a 300,000 acre ranch that is paid for, owned outright, where they have been cultivating the beef process for almost 30 years, where the calves and the cows, they're together. They're not being shipped around and jostled about in industrial farming and plants. No, they're together. It's peaceful. And they have cultivated this clean source of beef with no hormones, no antibiotics. There's no HRNA vaccine, none of that. It's a clean source of beef. So if you're excited about meat, I would recommend trying the Riverbend Ranch. We had a good experience. We do get the beef jerky. We love that. That's pretty consistent in our household. How do you become a member? It's $19 a year to become a member, which is ridiculous. That's great value there. And And we have a guarantee. So there's a 90-day empty bottle money back guarantee with all of our products, just so you know. And I want you to think about this. When have you ever gone shopping and when you walked into the store, they said, hey, listen, get whatever you want. If you're not completely satisfied, we're going to give you a 90-day empty bottle money back guaranteed. Said no one ever in any store that you've ever shopped in, right? So I love that Melaleuca is willing to put their money where their mouth is because they're really vested in a high quality experience for you and I. It's only 35 points a month to maintain your membership. And that's, like they say it's $75. I want you to include the shipping and the taxes. We'll call it between 90 and 100. That's the range that you're going to spend every month as someone that's getting 35 points. Okay. So the total, including everything, is between 90 and $100 a month. So I want you to think of it like this. Average American is kicking out about 300 bucks a month. They have no idea where it goes. It's there, it's in the fast food lines. They're buying cigarettes and alcohol. They're going to happy hour. They're getting their hair and their nails done. There's money that goes out, okay? The average American is kicking out 300 bucks a month. They can't tell you where it is. I'm talking to you about 90 to $100 a month, and I'm talking to you about things that you're already buying. I'm not telling you to buy anything different. I'm not telling you to spend any more than what you normally spend. I'm just telling you to be more intelligent about what you're purchasing so you have a higher quality of life and a higher quality of healthy products in your home. The average Melaleuca member is spending about 50 points a month in product points because it's just that good. We do way more than that every month, way more. So we do have a perk. It's called the backup order. It just means you can customize your box and you can put in what you like. And if you ever forget to place an order, the system will send one out to you automatically so your membership is not compromised. And the reason that's in place, that perk is in place, is because you're getting a 30 to sometimes 60% discount on what you're purchasing. And we don't want you to lose those benefits as a member. You can cancel your membership, okay? So I don't like the word, it's not really suspend, you're canceling it. And you can do that. We don't want you to be here if you don't want to be here. There's no contracts, there's no renewables, there's no commitments. We want you to enjoy your experience. And because we have world-class customer service that's first rate, because we have extraordinary products and we're creating the best experience possible for all of our shoppers, we're very confident that you're going to want to be here. So we're not trying to, oh, we got you in the contract or we got you in this. No. If you don't want to be here, you can leave anytime. Okay. So you have nothing to lose. And with a 90-day empty bottle money back guarantee, I would recommend you give it your best shot and really give yourself the experience of what we offer. Here's some price comparisons between Whole Foods and Melaleuca. These are very similar products. And as you can see, you end up saving money with Melaleuca for a higher quality, non-toxic, organic, clean experience. And the same thing goes for Target as well. We had a lot of fun. There have been some significant boycotts over the last several months that we've really enjoyed participating in. I've never personally been a fan of big box stores. I've never really had any desire to go into big box stores. It's just too much. And I was really happy that we were able to make a significant impact because, we want people to do business the right way. And if they're not, we vote with our dollars. So we love the value that we bring here. So again, you're just switching where you shop, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. You're not going to do anything different other than switch to a higher quality, clean, organic, non-toxic product. And we have two boxes that you only can get access to one time. All right. So this offers only once. You can get a home conversion pack or you can get a value pack. This gives you a very good cross section of the products. Now there's over 400 of them, so obviously you can't try everything at once, but this gives you a good flavor of who we are, how we show up. And what I really enjoy is because, listen, I know you can see a lot of the products right now. It really doesn't matter what's in the home conversion pack or what's in the value pack, and I'll tell you why. Because if you have a product that you know you're not going to use, you're like, hey, Ed, I would never use the dryer sheets. Okay, great. So let's get on the phone and let's get you a replacement or we'll get you a refund. Just like that. It's very, very simple. No hassles, no, and you get to experience the world-class customer service that's going to blow you away because that's what happened to us. We got some detergent. We didn't like the fragrance that was in there, And we said, hey, we've already gone through a good amount of it. And they said, "Look, don't worry about it. Just give it to your neighbor. We're going to send you a brand new bottle of non-scented detergent." And they got us that bottle out very quickly, and we were just amazed. And we've had always had great experiences, as well as our shoppers having that as well. So the home conversion pack is 39 items, cross section of the store. The value pack is 25 items, cross section of the store. Either one works well. I always recommend getting the home conversion pack because you only get it one time because you're saving over 33% on the purchase. That means one third of the box is you're getting it basically for free. So I always tell people go for it. Even if you get some stuff that you're not going to use, you can exchange it, or they'll send you a credit and give you something of equal value, or you can get a refund. So new members also receive $100 in free products in your first 5 months, which is awesome. Why do we do that? Because we want you to experience as much of the product as you possibly can, because we know the more products you experience, the better you're going to feel. There's a reason why when we were in Salt Lake City, Utah, we met people that have been shopping here for 35 years, never missing a month. And not this is not just one person. It's not just two people. We met a lot of people, 35 years, 30 years, 25 years, month after month after month after month. So that really made an impression on us that this company is very vested and they really do care. Unlike when you go into a big box store, and there's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why there's literally, listen to me very carefully, tens of thousands of pending and current litigations and lawsuits against these companies because the chemicals and the products that people are consuming are not only causing some people harm, they're actually taking some people's lives. And because of that, the companies have figured out it's cheaper to just settle than it is to do business at a higher level of ethical practice and a higher level of concern for the environment. They're like, hey, we just keep cutting corners because we're making so much money. Like literally $1 million every 7 seconds, something crazy like that. So I'm like one of these people on the screen, sounds great, but why haven't I heard about Melaleuca? We learned about Melaleuca November 2024. I had heard the name. I had no idea what was behind the name. I didn't. It just sounded like a funny name to me, like Melaleuca. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I've heard people talk about it, and I've heard people over and over and over again say one thing. Man, I love the products. I love the products. They're so awesome. That's the one thing I've heard in common over years and years. I never knew what the products were. I didn't know what they did. I didn't know what they looked like. I just heard that one sentence over and over again from different people, different situations, over and over. Love the products. I love the products. Okay. So now the word is starting to get out because the speed of information is so much greater now today than it was even 5 years ago. And so people like me, when I get exposed to something that is truly transformational, when I get exposed to something where I know I can actually dramatically improve the quality of your life and your environment, because I know you're probably were doing some of the same things that I used to do, that Nadia used to do. We used to bring toxic, harmful chemicals into our home and have these cleaners and all these smells. And man, we didn't know what we didn't know. And it's made such a big difference in our homes and the homes of so many of our friends who have become shoppers. In 2025, USA Today, the most trusted brand. Now, out of millions of companies, only 0.1% have received that recognition. Forbes, best mid-size employer and best employer for women 3 years running. So getting this type of recognition, we didn't seek it. We just got notification that we got selected because they do their due diligence, which is pretty awesome. So when you start sharing this, if you know people that do laundry, brush their teeth, and they like high quality, clean, organic, non-toxic, when you start sharing the good news, if you will, then that's how you can start building a thank you check. And then you can start building a real income for yourself just by blessing people with this vehicle. I don't know about you. Every time we bring on a shopper and we can help curtail their spending at these big box stores and these stores with all these cheap, crappy products on the shelves, and they put them in various communities. They target certain communities because they don't care. It is profit over people. That's how they do business. So every time we're able to pull somebody away from that foolishness and bring them into this space of Melaleuca, we get excited. We ring the bell, we're fired up because we know we not only blessed that family, that individual, that person, but we also gave them an opportunity for a higher quality of health and maybe sticking around a little bit longer, which I'm all for it. Now, 96% of our customers who shop with Melaleuca last month will shop again this month. That kind of repeat behavior creates repeat income. That is what we call retention. I've never seen or heard of this in any dynamic in my experience. And it wasn't until we started bringing on shoppers in late December of 2024 that I can tell you, I'm just telling you, in our shopper base, our retention, unfortunately, is not as high as the company's. It's only 92%. That's unheard of. I don't care what you do, who you are. Like, talk to any business owner that's selling anything. 92% retention is insane, let alone 96% retention. Over $7.7 billion has been paid out in commissions to people like myself and maybe you if you decide to get on board. Now, what does that tell you? Number one, yes, it's grown since the last time I shared this, but more importantly, if $7.7 billion has been paid out, you know what that's called? That's called a clue. It's a clue that something is working real good because you cannot pay out those type of commissions without having a supremely strong customer base. You have to have people that are coming back again and again and again and again. See, as a professional speaker, I will go into a situation. I recently spoke for an educational software company. They paid me for 1 hour of my time. Now, it was thousands of dollars for that 1 hour of time. When I was done training, the contract had ended, and guess what I'm doing? I'm looking for another contract. I'm only as good as my last presentation. As much as I love speaking, it's only one of me. And if I don't show up to speak, I do not get paid. Do you have a job? Do you have a situation where if you don't show up and work at your job and put in your 40, 50, 60 plus hours a week, you don't get paid either? Have you ever noticed that there's only 24 hours in a day and only 7 days in a week? Have you ever noticed that you have absolutely no leverage and everything depends on you? Have you ever noticed that if you work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, every week, week after week, month after month, year after year, there's some wear and tear on your body? Have you ever noticed that you only have a little bit of time that you could possibly get sick? Because they tell you when you can get sick, but even if they tell you when, you can't be sick for long because they want you behind what? Working. So when you live that model, ladies and gentlemen, you're putting yourself in the danger zone. I want you to embrace the uncomfortable growth zone and learn how to produce and create leverage going beyond the power of one. So what does that look like? You may have some goals, right? Maybe you want to pay off some debts you're attacking right now. Maybe you want to pay off your home or pay off your cars or student loan debt, or you want to build up your investment portfolio or an education fund or what have you. Great. You do that through building a repeat income. How do you build a repeat income? By referring people to the store. We're all shoppers, by the way. We just call ourselves shoppers. And what we do is we refer other shoppers. And as we do that, that shopper base builds. And every time somebody shops, we get paid. So the person that referred us, they're going to get paid for the rest of our lives every time we shop because we love Melaleuca products. We love the customer service. We love the integrity of the company. We love the excellence of the company, the competency of the company, the compensation of the company. We love everything about it. And we're having a great time and we love blessing other people with it. So that one conversation, okay, our friend had one conversation with us and they're going to get paid for the rest of our lives. Doing something once and genuinely, listen to me now, genuinely doing something once and getting paid in perpetuity, that's how you build smart, intelligent, repeat income. You build smart, intelligent, repeat income with a proven business. People that get rich, they buy businesses that already work. Very, very rare do you start a new business and it's massively successful. That's That's an outlier. That's like playing the lottery and winning, okay? Very rarely do you find other businesses in terms of their structure where there's not a lot of hype and energy and excitement, but there's not a whole lot of oomph to the product, or there's not a whole lot of oomph to the executive team or the competency or the competence. There's always some stuff that's askew. This is a solid business that's been very successful for over 39 years and it's paid out $7.7 billion in commission. Clues, I'm just saying, how do you earn income? Like I said, you refer shoppers, and when they refer shoppers, you get paid on that as well. And so that continues to compound. When you bring on 8 shoppers, this is what we tell everybody that we're working with. Yes, the number's 8, but bring on 10. You know why? Why don't run to the tape, run through the tape. When you run through the tape, you get your 10. Now you're covered. You got 10 shoppers. Great, that's extra money. But that's a check for whatever, $500. And then when you help other people do the same, your income begins to grow, begins to compound. Okay? And as you build your shopper base, so does your monthly income, your repeat income that grows as well. So what we did was, and this is senior director. I should talk about this first. So senior director, when you help 5 people achieve director, okay, you're earning an average income of about $100,000 a year. You're also qualified for a car bonus of $500 a month. Now, I know some of you all, you're like, Ed, my job, my car bonus on my job is $600 a month. Good for you. If you have a car bonus on your job, you're like in the top 0.0001%. Because most people that I know that have jobs, there's no car bonus. I can promise you that. So it starts at 500, goes up to $1,500 a month. And what I love about the fiscal responsibility of the executive team is that they don't just give it to you right away. They stack it for you. So let's say you hit the car bonus and you want to get whatever, this is a Kia. Great. And the down payment on the Kia, let's say, is $3,000. Well, it's going to take you 6 months to get to $3,000. They will not release the car bonus to you until you've banked 3,000 in your account. Then they send you your check for 3,000 because you got to show them the payment plan as long as the monthly is 500 or less. Why do they do that? Because they actually care. Do you know how many times I've seen people with a car bonus and they get excited, they overextend themselves because they're like, man, I got a $500 car bonus. I'm going to give me a $1,000 payment. You had no intention of doing that until you got the $500 car bonus. Now you want to overextend, and guess what happens? The repo coming, the repo man, the repo woman, they coming to get your car because now you over leverage and you missing some payments, and then boom, the company's like, no, we would never put you in a situation or position to fail. We're going to show you how to play the long game, how to embrace your uncomfortable growth zone. And that money's going to stack. It's your money. We're not going to touch it. But until it's at 3,000, make the down payment. And now your monthly is going to be 500 or less. You're good to go. That's why I love and rock with this company, because they're playing the long game and they're teaching us how to play the long game. So what we did was this. We said, hey, we're going to shop. I was working as an independent contractor. I was helping a healthcare company at that time. I didn't have a lot of bandwidth, but I knew we were going to love the product, so we started getting the products. About December 28th, okay, there was a promotion. And the promotion said, hey, if you bring on 8 people this month, instead of 500, you're going to make $1,000 guaranteed. I was like, wow. Now, I didn't even know it because I wasn't paying attention. My friend called and said, hey, did you know, by the way, if you bring on 8 shoppers this month, you're going to make $1,000. I said, really? I said, yeah. So I got on the phone. I got December 28th, 29th, 30th. They had 3 days and one half because you had to get it done by 2 o'clock on the 31st because it was a pending holiday. So we brought on 9 shoppers in that 3.5 days. We made the $1,000 bonus. Well, we had a nice check. That was a great first check. Now, the second month, what happened was some of those people, they said, man, if you all brought on 9 shoppers in 3.5 days, we could certainly do it in 30 days. And because it was the beginning of a new year, January 2025, they said, hey, we're going to run the promotion again. If you bring on 8 shoppers, you're going to make $1,000. Well, guess what? We had multiple people hit that director spot, and that more than tripled our next check. So these bonuses are real. They're available. If you want to make supplemental income or a house payment or life-changing income, or if you just want to be a shopper, it is all good with us. 8% of the people that are in the shopper base are also referring, just like I'm doing with you now. 82%, they just shop. That's all they want to do. They just shop, and we love it. Because when you have a product and people can come and just enjoy and have a great experience, you've got a winning combination. We will never ever pressure anyone to become someone that refers, right? If you want to do it, we'd love to have you. We're going to work together. But that's the beauty of the community that we're cultivating. We celebrate everyone. We celebrate you for your shopping wins. We celebrate you for your income wins. We celebrate you for your rank advancements. We celebrate you for your income breakthroughs. And here's something that really stood out to me when we went to the convention. So they had two specific recognitions that really struck me. The first one was they brought people on stage and they said, "Tell us how you got to the event and tell us how much money you spent to get to the event." And these people were recognized for being the most fiscally responsible in doing so. And so they had these stories like, hey, it's like six of us in a car. We all drove here. We're sharing one room. We brought a cooler. We make our own sandwiches. And we probably have spent, it was some ridiculously low number for such a great event. And they got recognized in front of thousands of people on stage. I've never seen that before, ever. Now, here's the funny part. We were counting. So they had one part of the recognition where they said, hey, we're going to have all the 7 and 8 figure earners just walk across the stage. They didn't get the microphone. They didn't get to say anything. They just said, we're going to just have them walk across the stage and you all can, applaud. So I'm watching and I'm counting. And I stopped counting the 7 and 8 figure earners after 150. I just stopped counting. I was like, this is stupid. Like, I'm not going to stop. Like, why am I still counting? And they didn't even get a microphone, y'all. The people who got the microphone were the grassroots people that are out here hustling and trying to build their dream. Another piece of the recognition. And I said, when I saw it, I was like, that's what I want. Like, I know exactly. This is what I live in my head every day. I know exactly what I want. They brought 19 families on stage and they had an urn and they said, take out your lighters. And they called it a mortgage burning ceremony. And all 19 families burned their mortgages because they had paid them off some 20 years early with their Melaleuca commissions. I was like, I have been in the trenches. So I told you about embracing your uncomfortable growth zone, right? So some people will say to me, Ed, I'm not a salesperson. Okay, great. Neither was I. Like I didn't know that I wasn't a salesperson until I became one. Because you have to understand, if you're working, you sold your employer on hiring you. If you have a job and you had some sort of a career, you sold them on getting that promotion based on what your output was. If you're in a relationship, you sold somebody to buy into committing to you. If you got kids, you know what I'm talking about. You selling them all the time on, eating right, exercise, and doing the right thing. We're constantly selling. Nothing happens until it happens. I had to reframe my own mind. I know how some of you may feel because I was there. I'm thinking when I first got introduced to this business model of just referring other people, hey man, I got an Ivy League degree, education. I'm a Morehouse man. I ain't selling them. That's beneath me. I didn't know any better. I was freaking ignorant. When in fact, some of the most successful people on planet Earth are salesmen, because they sell an idea, they sell a vision, they sell a dream, they sell a product, whatever it is. So when I reframed it, guess what happened? I started focusing on blessing and serving, and I started focusing on blessing and serving. In our first business, we built a huge sales force. It was 140,000 people that we got a chance to bless and transform. We had literally dozens of people that were making multiple 6 and 7 figures in income. So I know what happens when you get out of your comfort zone and embrace your uncomfortable growth zone. Time, time for all of us. If you're out here doing anything, it's significant. It means something. Well, when you go beyond the power of one and you learn leverage, well, guess what? Now you're building repeat income. You have one conversation like what was had with us, and now you're getting a paycheck every time that person or that family shops for the rest of their lives. What happens if you have 4 or 5 conversations a week? What if you have 4 or 5 conversations a day? You have to look at the possibilities. You have to live in your future. And that's how these doorways begin to open for you. And if there's any of you and you're thinking about it from a money standpoint, well, let me make it very clear to you. You're already shopping. So I'm not talking about you doing anything that you don't already do. I know you're brushing your teeth. I know you got armpits. I know you put on, hopefully you put on lotion. Some of my friends, they ask you, they don't know about the lotion thing. I got to teach some of my friends about that. But that aside, I know you're using these things. I understand that the supplements, the Peak Performance Pack, is transformational. So maybe that could be a new experience for you. Maybe some of the Mela Out or the Fiber Wise. Maybe some of the vitamin C serum for the face and the scalp. These are all things that we use every day. And every time we use them, we smile because we know that we're making money. We're getting paid for using high quality, non-toxic, organic, clean products. And this can be your experience as well. So I just want to challenge you to really take in the experience of what I've shared with you. I want to challenge you that if I'm not the person that put you onto this presentation, then find the person that did and get back with them and just give them an answer. Yes, I'm game. I would love to not fund the mega billion-dollar conglomerates who could give a crap about me and anybody else. And let me put my money where it's a company that's based here in the United States. It's employing 4,000 plus people in the United States. And on top of that, I have a 90-day empty bottle money back guarantee and it's clean, organic, non-toxic. I will absolutely sign up for that. And let me just do a 90-day run with the products. And then let's see what we see. Some of you are going to be like, Ed, tell me about the money. I like what I saw about the money. $100,000 for 5 directors. I think I can do that. $500 car bonus. I'd like to have that as a goal. Some of the people that we met, I'm telling you, the stories and the incomes are mind-boggling. And every single month there's a leadership magazine. And in that magazine, it's peppered with stories of people just like you and I, from small town America to big city America, 18 to 80, bald, crippled, crazy, who are having success because they're just following the system of inviting people to see the store, showing them how to shop. And then if they want to shop, leave them alone. If they want to refer shoppers, show them how to do that too. And it's just growing, growing, growing. So we're excited because we're going to soon be at the $10 billion mark in commissions paid out. And I know how much of that has our families and our family's legacy on it. We're going to earn it. We're going to go out and get it. And we invite you to lock arms with us and do the same because whatever you're doing right now, keep doing what you're doing. But if it's not getting you what you want, you have to do one of two things. You have to do things differently or do different things. And we're here to provide you that support and that opportunity and that guidance because we've done it. Okay. We've had great success. We've also fallen flat on our face. We know what it's like to try other businesses and it doesn't work. It's incredibly frustrating. We know what it's like to align ourselves with things and the leadership is not there, or the product isn't there, or the compensation isn't there. And we're just like you. We just want to make some money. Like we want to improve the quality of our life. Like who wants to die with debt? Who wants to have to struggle and make decisions based on time or money? All of us have been working hard. We know how to work hard. I ain't afraid of hard work. I just want to get paid what I'm worth. And if you're telling me you're going to give me an avenue where I can set my number and whatever that number is for you, I know everybody's number is different. It could be 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, whatever that number is. I promise you, there are literally dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people that are already doing it. So that's what's available to you. I appreciate you hanging out with me and spending some time. Again, get back with the person that shared this with you. And I look forward to seeing you at our next training. Not really a training. We do a growth mindset meeting that we do every week just to check in to help people get better in their lives. But I appreciate the time that we spent, and we'll see you soon.